favorite type of motorcycle. Kawasaki. It might be really loud and that's okay because it's because of these big ass fans we've got, which is needed, especially in the summertime. So I'm gonna try and talk as loud as I can. Sorry if they're annoying in the background. Right now I'm checking the maternity barn. This is this whole barn right here for all these girls. And basically these girls are a bunch of really fat, big, pregnant, about to have baby mamas. So this is where we keep all of them so they can be comfortable and literally nap in the shade. They've got stanchions full of feed up front, water, that's all they do. And then throughout the day we casually check in here, make sure mamas aren't calving, or if they are calving, we assist them if they need it. If they did start calving, then we will, like their water breaks, we'll typically bring them up closer. That way they're by themselves in a pen, that way they can just relax and focus on having the baby. But until then, they sit and hang out here and do what big old pregnant women do. And I can say that because I've been there. So if anyone feels for these girls, I do. So like I said, I'll just casually walk through, make sure no one's calving, or if they are calving, assist them if needed. And if they need to move pins, then that's what we'll do. You don't want to do too much. You want them to stay calm and just relax. You don't want to interrupt their napping. Yet, when they calve, you know, they calve while laying down, most of the time. So, just kind of looking at their back ends, if anything. Right now, everyone's kind of content, sleepy. It's hot. Water troughs daily. Every time we bring a cow pen up to be milked, we clean their whole pen. We flush their lanes, we scrape their beds, we clean their water troughs. Since everything's routinely done multiple times a day, we don't ever have to require like serious maintenance. So when I clean water troughs, since we do them daily, we just get all of that excess water out that's basically got leftover hay and feed in there from the cows drinking. Clean it out, stop it back up, let it fill up with clean water, and within a couple hours, we'll clean it all over again. So these two tanks right here are just one set of tanks that we have, and they hold what we'd call flush water, which is basically recycled shit water. And some people use like large vacuums on the back of tractors to vacuum. I could say manure all day, but I hate that word, so I'm just gonna say shit. They have large vacuums for the shit in the cows' lanes, and we use flush tanks, which is recycled out of lagoons, our lagoons. We flush 3 times a day. After every pen is brought up, there's typically a flush tank set behind every pen. So once we bring that pen up to milk, we'll go in, scrape their beds, scrape the sand into their beds, and then we will flush the big tanks. We'll open the tanks here, flush water comes out of there, and we'll have most time we'll have 1 or 2 people in there, and we'll have shovels and scrape along with it, with the flush water. Because cows sometimes are like cats, and they'll scrape their sand out of their beds, or just like paw it out, and then that leaves all this sand build up right here. The sand on the ground goes out. The sand that's on the step right here gets pushed in with the shovel. Look at the tiny baby stanchions. Here's the big ones. Here's the babies. This is to help stanchion train. A lot of times when our heifers get back from a heifer ranch, they are wild when it comes to being in the stanchions, meaning they won't go in the stanchions and eat. A lot of times they'll eat from this right here, this little corner, just so they don't have to put their head in here because they don't know what those are for. So it's a good thing when they're this size that they have little ones so they can learn to do what the big ones do. This hay field right here is the field that I just picked up hay off of a couple days ago. And if you can see, we've got the pivot going out there, and we should be getting hay cut in another week or so. That was kind of the importance of getting the hay off the field as fast as we can. We store alfalfa right in the middle. To the left are 3 feed bays, and one of them will constantly be calf grain. Far right is a well house, and the roll-up doors are our shop. Right here is our commodity bays where we've got our corn, cottonseed, silage, beet pulp. Right here is our loading dock, and there's our feed wagon connected to a tractor, which you can't see, that's covered. And then we'll have a feeding or a loader that we put all our rations of feed into. Gosh, I look like a tomato. My eyes look blue though. Okay, so unfortunately it is extremely windy today. It's only 98. That's not bad, considering it's Texas and it's at the end of July, as you can tell. However, I am not for sure all that you could hear due to the wind, and we have those large ass fans and misters that go on, so the dairy can be pretty loud. So if you're new here, hi, I'm Kendra, not Kendra. I am a dairy farmer. I work on my parents' dairy. They have owned it for over 40 years now. I do a little bit of everything. I am secretary with all the books. I come and move cows, give shots, medicines, push feed, clean stalls, scrape lanes, haul hay, a little bit of everything. I guess that's what happens when you're the farmer's daughter. And not only that, I'm the baby of 4 girls, so I feel like I have got to learn from a little bit of everyone. Anywho, we have a dairy out in Texas in a small town, and it's kind of really hard. I always thought that we were super small because my dad's friends with a bunch of dairy farmers that are like huge, like 40,000 plus cows. So I always thought we were super, super small, but then I've also seen a lot of videos of people that like milk 70 to 200 cows and call themselves small. So I'll let you decide. We milk about 1,000 to 1,200, depending on time of year and everything. We milk about 1,200 on site. We'll keep around 100 dry cows, again, depending on the year. Dry cows are basically cows that go on vacation in a pasture field. When they're about 4 months to 6 months pregnant, we dry them off and they go basically have vacation while they focus on growing a healthy baby. So we'll have about 100 or so of them out in the pasture. We've got about 150 head of calves that we keep up. We're not really a calf operation. We more focus on straight milking. However, my dad is consistently expanded over the years. I'm also in charge of our heifer program and keeping up with all the calves and everybody that go off-site. We've got probably 200 head at a calf ranch, which they get picked up when they're about a day old until about 6 months. And then we have a heifer ranch also, which is 6 months to 2 years. Again, that all time depends on breeding ages, if they've become pregnant and they need to come home, just if they're not getting pregnant, all different types of things. But then over there on our older heifer ranch, we have about 800 to 900 right now. So I still consider us a small dairy, but I guess there is people that are smaller, but there's definitely people that are way bigger. Comment down below if you think we have a large operation, or would you say we're like moderate or small? Because like I said, I think it all depends on what you know or who you know that dairy farms. I realize this wasn't the most in-depth video, and a lot of times I've had comments of people wanting to see inside the milking barn, which all in due time, I would like to continue to make as many intriguing, interesting videos, and if I just put it all in one video, then there's really nothing left to see. However, this is a job, this is a lifestyle. This is how we feed your families and our own. Therefore, I don't want to be too invasive when people are working. There's a time and a place for the camera, and you know, I know there's plenty of other channels that have cameras in their milking barns and all that, and that's great, nothing against it. However, my dad likes to take his business very seriously, and I would like to respect that. Like I said, all in due time, you know. I'll get as many shots of every piece and part of the dairy as I can. I know the ins and outs of this place, and I would love for you to get to see it too. However, I've lived here for 30 years. I have the privilege, if you stay here long enough and subscribe, I may give you a little glimpse down here on the dairy farm. Thank you so much for watching. I love you. Come back. Bye.